Hey YouTube, this is obscurevisions again. So I'm basically a liar because I said that I wasn't going to be doing videos for a while, but then last night I was like laying in bed and I got this really good idea for a video, and I figured I might as well do it since, I got nothing better to do. But anyway, this video is about Egyptian hawk deities. And the reason why I'm doing this video is because as soon as some people see Egyptian and hawk, they immediately think Horus. So every time you look at a papyrus painting or something and you see a hawk, it's like, oh look, it's Horus. That's not always the case. There's actually multiple deities in the Kemetic pantheon who appear as a hawk. So I'm just going to go over maybe 4 or 5 different hawk deities that you will run into in the Egyptian pantheon, and some ways that you can tell the differences between them. And I'll try and put some pictures up too, just so you can see the differences in appearance. So, the first deity that I'm going to talk about is Heru-sa-Aset, or Heru-sa-Aset. Either way works, but this is Horus, son of Isis. That's the translation. And this is the Horus that most people think about when they hear the name Horus. He's the young Horus, he's the son of Isis and Osiris. And the way that you can tell Heru-sa-Aset from the other hawk deities is the crown that he wears on his head. When Horus appears in his hawk form, he will be wearing the double crown. And the double crown is basically a uniting of 2 different crowns that are very commonly found on Egyptian deities. You have the crown of Lower Kemet, which is Lower Egypt, and this crown is a red crown, and sometimes it has like a little swirly thing coming off of it. And the crown of Upper Kemet, or Upper Egypt, which is the white crown. Now, a thing to keep in mind about using the terminologies Upper Kemet and Lower Kemet is it's not the geographical north and south that you're working with. Upper Kemet is actually southern Egypt. Lower Kemet is actually northern Egypt. It's basically reversed, which seems like it shouldn't be that way, but the way the Upper Kemet and Lower Kemet were determined was by the flow of the Nile. And since it flows up towards the Mediterranean, you have Upper Kemet and Lower Kemet, upstream and downstream. So that's the way to tell the difference. So the white crown is for Upper Kemet, the red crown is for Lower Kemet, and Heru-sa-Aset wears the double crown, which is a uniting of those two. So he'll be wearing a red and white crown on his head. That's how you can tell the difference. So the next hawk deity that I'm going to talk about is Heru-Wer, and Heru-Wer is another Horus, but he's not the same Horus as in Horus, son of Isis. He is Horus the Elder, and it means just what the name says. He is the Elder Horus. He is brother of Isis, brother of Osiris, brother of Set, brother of Nephthys. So he is the older Horus. He would be Horus, son of Isis' uncle. So, the way that you can tell Horus the Elder is that he wears the white crown. So, you won't see him wearing the red crown of Lower Kemet. You will see him wearing the white crown of Upper Kemet. So, that's how you can tell if it's not a double crown, but there is a crown, and it's white. It's Horus the Elder. Okay. Now, the next hawk deity, or deity that appears as a hawk occasionally, is Ra. Ra is the sun god of the Egyptian pantheon, and he also has a sun disk on his head. So if you see a hawk with a sun disk on his head, he's either going to be Ra or a syncretized form of Ra. Ra with a sun disk on his head, a hawk with a sun disk on his head, is going to be Ra at the very least. If you see a snake encircling the sun around his head, it could be Ra-Heruakhety. Now, this is where it gets complicated. Heru-Akhety is another form of Horus, which, again, there are multiple forms of certain deities. The Egyptians syncretized a lot of their deities. That's like taking two deities and kind of putting them together to form a new deity. But Ra-Heruakhety always has the snake, the uraeus is what they call it, encircling the solar disk. So you have a hawk with a sun, and if the hawk has a sun on its head, it's Ra. And if it has a uraeus encircling it, a snake, then it can be either Ra or Ra-Heruakhety, which is Ra and a syncretized form of Ra.